Star Wars is a very successful franchise, and Fortnite is a very successful game. Star Wars and Fortnite also know how to write really good endings.
Somehow Palpatine returned.
Fortnite gangsta party.
When it comes to Fortnite seasons, I'm honestly not that much of a demanding person. I'm sort of the opposite. I'm just an advocate for having a meta that isn't one-sided with guns that actually feel good. I also don't lose sleep because the battle pass is mid or that only 10,000 mythics are brought back instead of 10,001. And let's be honest, we all saw this coming. We had 2 Marvel collab seasons, one being phenomenal, the other being horseshit. Epic sold their soul to Disney. Okay, well 10% of it. Star Wars was the obvious pick for a new collab season theme. Leading up to the season trailer, people compared this season to the Star Wars Battlefront games as a lighthearted joke, and it actually looked like it was headed in that direction. And if they were going to adapt aspects from Battlefront, especially the 2 recent games, I was praying that they didn't adapt Battlefront Palpatine. Palpatine in Battlefront 2 was a fucking nightmare. Because why use blasters and lightsabers when you can just stun people for 20 years as they die? And given that Fortnite and balancing hardly go together, the mere thought of this translating over to Fortnite haunted me. But surely they wouldn't put Palpatine and Sith Lightning in Fortnite. Shit.
Return. 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 Return.
I knew from the get-go that this season wasn't going to be a traditional season, albeit a balanced one. This season isn't marketed as a Chapter 6 Season 3, along with the shorter runtime. While there are some things that rub me the wrong way this season, there are some things that also make me happy Soyjack because I love Disney slop. I've talked about this before, but I love Slap Juice. I adore how it's one of the few mobility items this season. At least for zero builds, I think Slap should be a permanent addition. It requires actual strategy and thought when using these and are perfect for pushing people. Positioning actually matters in this season, which is pretty based. EMP grenade staying in this season is even more based. I think ever since Wrecked added the boost feature to SUVs, people running away like rats the second they take damage has been a huge problem. It's genuinely one of the most satisfying things ever, chucking these things like bricks at a person who tries to flee. Like this fucking guy just refused to leave the car. Like he'd rather die in the driver's seat than fighting someone in a Fortnite Battle Royale game.
Please save me. Please save me, Donald Trump.
The lightsabers are the same as they always are, and they're so much better to fight against. Knocking back and stunning lightsaber users feels so good. And I know a lot of people want these to be more broken because they aren't powerful enough. And I'm just like, no. Like, can we just have 1 month where the melee weapon isn't bullshit? I originally hated the concept of all the Chapter 6 weapons being replaced by blasters, mainly because weapons like the AUG and Sentinel were just really fun to use, and I didn't want to use shitty first order blasters over these.
Alright, so we've got our Stormtrooper blaster here.
I'm actually really impressed by the ACP shotgun. It feels really satisfying to use, the way you hold it and how it sounds. I like that. I don't think the BARM's that good. It's probably better than the Twinfire, which actually isn't that hard to do because all I had to do was be better than the Twinfire. And holy shit, Sniper Glare is one of the best things added to this game because this DMR is so goddamn powerful. Like half my kills from this season was from this. As a Battlefront 2 Han Solo 1 trick, I was eagerly wagging my little puppy tail to use the DL-44 pistol. And it's alright. It's not amazing to the point where I'd use it over other weapons that dominate the meta like the DMR, but I'd rather have it be mid than for it to be dog shit. The DC-15 has always been solid and balanced, and the same can be said about the DL-19. Honestly, this entire AR loot pool would have been very strong in terms of variety, but there's a third AR blaster which has a red dot sight with hit scan, because of course we needed one of those to overshadow the hipfire ARs in the loot pool.
Hey guys!
It's not like Star Wars has plenty of blasters to choose from that also have scopes or red dots on top of the one that we already have. I mean, this stuff isn't new. This AR formula has been prevalent for a while now, but what isn't prevalent is the way ammo works this season. The recharge system abolishes any strategy whatsoever, which enables you to keep pressuring people. While this is literally how blasters work in Star Wars and Battlefront, collecting ammo, which is a huge chunk of looting progression, gets thrown out the window. What I've been doing is using the DMR until it heats up, switch to the red dot AR, use that until it heats up, then switch back to the DMR since you don't have to be holding the weapon for it to recharge. And you can just do that. In a way, this feature is somewhat pushing for a spray meta, given that a lot of these weapons can melt you instantly in zero build. It makes the concept of having no ammo more problematic. And yes, I've had a fair share of frustrating moments. However, this season's a lot more fun in duos, trios, and squads, since I find players to be less ratty in those team game modes.
Big chungus.
When it comes to the ships, I'm happy with their speed, or lack thereof, and having 3 lives compensates for that. However, the structure damage is Okay, let's be honest with ourselves, this is actually crazy as fuck. Like, this shit just goes through builds like nothing. I guess it helps that the ship's health suffers greatly from this, so the driver has to think, I could demolish this entire building in 1 second, but my ship might blow up.
It's so funny how every season they undo most, if not all of the previous season's map changes. Like the Black Market tunnels, caved in. The Masked Meadows Black Market, nah, we just poured cement over that shit as if nothing happened. But the banks? I feel like they could have left them in still, but no, they're just fucking gone.
My main issue with the ships boils down to how open the majority of the center map is. Like, going against these ships in the new Star Wars POIs, and even some of the Chapter 6 POIs with a lot of cover like Crime City, isn't that bad at all. Mos Eisley and the Resistance base feels like they were actually made with ships in mind. So given that ships dominate in wide open spaces, especially in team game modes, it makes me not want to even be near the center of the map as much as possible.
Hopefully they don't get buffed out of nowhere. Damn it!
What do you think, Ron?
Trying not to, kid.
Disney, Star Wars, and Fortnite are in similar positions at this very moment. They're both thinking big picture. And this season being placed kinda out of nowhere in the middle of the chapter, I'm starting to realize that Disney might have a bigger seat at the table than we thought. That 10% buyout seems small in the grand scheme of things, and it is, but we've had 2 Disney IP seasons in the span of a year. Given that this season is labeled as a mini season 1, it's evident that they'd only create this new subgenre of season if they plan on doing it more often.
We're just getting started.
I don't think you have to be a diehard or even a casual Star Wars fan to enjoy aspects from this season, and it's completely understandable if people still aren't interested. Coming from a big Star Wars fan who fell out of love for the franchise ever since they saw this abomination of a scene and swore off all Star Wars media ever since, I can still appreciate what this season means for some people in the community, and I hope I get the same level of respect when reviewing it, even when talking about things that people like that happen to be flawed. It's different for sure. It might not bring that spark all the way back when it comes to my love for Star Wars, but I'll give credit where credit's due. The season actually feels somewhat like an homage to the first 2 Battlefront games. Even just the vibe when you're playing it. It taps into that sense of immersion that I haven't felt in the franchise in years.
Being held by you. Alone in the south.